I think so too, and it's also seeing the mistakes that other fighters have made. When you're growing up in the gym, you're seeing guys that spar too hard, or seeing guys that get hit too much, or seeing guys that take the wrong fights, or seeing guys that don't fight smart defensively. You know, one of the things that people forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter, and he would put himself...
What happens when boxing's richest legend takes to the mic? To break his silence for years, Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta "Tank" Davis seemed like an unstoppable duo, a mentor-protege relationship that promised to dominate the sport for decades. But in recent years, their bond has fractured.
Floyd left Bob Arum. It's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off 50 tweets in the day. And that's why when I tweeted certain things about the relationship, Tank retweeted it, because he knows. Like, I'm not just going to say what it is. It's a very toxic relationship. It's back and forth, and I think it will serve him best to go and be his own.
Leaving fans and insiders speculating about what went wrong this week. The boxing world was set ablaze when Floyd Mayweather appeared on The Joe Rogan Experience to spill the tea on his ongoing beef with Tank. And trust me, it's not just about boxing. It's about pride, betrayal, and power struggles. Let's break it all down to understand the tension between Floyd and Tank. You've got to go back to the beginning.
Gervonta fan. I think that guy is so unusual. His style's so unusual, and his patience.
The Leo Santa Cruz fight was really something for me, because Leo Santa Cruz is a technician, Mexican style, and the fight was very close before Tank stopped him. But he has that power that can end it.
He finds these openings, he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient. Like, when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he probably has the lowest punch count in the early round. But he also knows he's got that nuclear option, that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence.
Floyd Mayweather isn't just any boxer. He's a cultural icon, undefeated in 50 fights with a career spanning over 2 decades. Floyd built an empire, not just with his fists, but with his business acumen. His promotion company, Mayweather Promotions, was supposed to be the future of boxing, a platform to give fighters the spotlight and financial freedom.
Young fighters, he loves to embrace guys, so what was being around, talking to Floyd? Like, what has Floyd taught you about fighting? And has it made you a better fighter? Because he could tell me all day to do that shit he does. I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you?
He could tell you, go run at 2 in the morning. You know, go do it when, because 9 times out of 10, we know your opponent sleep at that time. So go run at 2 in the morning and go give yourself a mental edge, you know, like, because you know you out there working every night at 2 in the morning running. That's a lot of the times your opponent sleep. You know, it could be little things that'll take you to the next level. You know, that Floyd, a person like Floyd, like if he tell you that, you gonna take a lot of heave to it, and it's gonna give you a different type of motivation when you doing it. He could show you something, you know, and it could be the same thing. You know, you might not be able to do it like him, but just it coming from him, it'll give you like a different type of like feel about yourself.
He once fought so hard to achieve. Enter Gervonta Davis. Hailing from Baltimore, Tank was the perfect candidate to carry the Mayweather legacy forward. Explosive power, charisma, and that undeniable it factor made him a star from the moment he stepped into the ring. Floyd saw this potential early, signing Tank, and putting his promotional machine behind him. Together, they created unforgettable moments.
Yeah, I was in the gym with him before when I went to the gym with him, people don't know this. I had went to the gym with him off camera, nobody seen it. And I was kind of like begging him to spar me. And I remember I had a hurt hand at the time. I'm like, man, I don't care. I'll use one hand in there. I just want to get in there with Floyd. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was older at the time, so he wasn't the same Floyd Mayweather. I want to say this was like a year, maybe 2 years ago. So, yeah, I've been in the gym with him before. He correct certain things. Floyd even called me, I want to say like 3 weeks ago and, showed me some new tricks. So at the end of the day, he still, show a lot of love to me.
From sold-out arenas to viral highlights that dominated social media. But like many protege relationships, the cracks started to show as Tank's star rose. As Floyd revealed on Joe Rogan's podcast, success wasn't just the glue that held their partnership together. It was also the wedge that eventually drove them apart. Floyd described how in the early days, Tank relied heavily on him for guidance.
The thing I want to touch on is the Floyd situation. Floyd is Floyd. That's like I say, Tank is Tank, man. But at the end of the day, the man is chasing greatness. And you should be supporting that. I always tell you that. You should be supporting that, It's a rocky road that we're seeing what's going on. Just pay attention, man. The story is going to rebuild itself, But again, that's how you burn bridges. Somebody said this is the true colors of a person that's coming out, man. They can't stand it, Calm is the... I don't like using that word calm, but our Lord knows. He knows. He knows. He knows.
From fight strategy to media training, Floyd was there every step of the way. Getting better with them pass. Oh yeah. But as Tank's career gained momentum, he began to assert more independence. Floyd admitted that this transition wasn't easy for him. It's hard to let go, he said, hinting at the difficulties of watching someone you've molded start to carve their own path.
When you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? The lightweight, who you would put where?
Well, you got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, well, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 would probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. Mm-hmm. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down.
Tank, on the other hand, reportedly felt stifled. Floyd's hands-on approach, while beneficial in the beginning, eventually became a source of frustration from fight negotiations to public appearances. Tank wanted more control over his career, a sentiment Floyd, known for his larger-than-life presence, struggled to accommodate. And to be fair, it worked out perfectly for Tank Davis. He started landing deals way bigger than Floyd ever did in his prime. Now that's got to sting Floyd for sure.
Set you off that you was like, I gotta do that. A lot of people don't know that what Floyd do. He said. So you feel like it was a sub, like he was subbing you, like he was going at me. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went at him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Cause I feel like y'all got, I would say love hate, but it's been like the last interview you showed them love. This week it was whatever. But is that sometimes like is it just like big bro, little bro seeing things different, or what is it to you? No, Floyd don't never. He felt as though I'm at that point where as though I passed him. And I'm doing it at a young age. Like when Floyd was 29, you'll see, bro. Yeah. That deal that I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, that's a part of the deal. He don't know about that yet. But that's bigger than his deal. Damn. Wow. And I'm just releasing it. Exclusive. That's exclusive. Bigger than Floyd deal? Yeah. Tank, no cap, nigga. That's a lot of bread. You'll see.
A man with an ego like his can't let anyone outshine him in the industry like that. So, where did it all go wrong? Let's hear. From Floyd, things took a more dramatic turn when the disagreement spilled into the public eye. For Floyd, loyalty is everything. And he expressed deep disappointment over how Tank handled their disputes on the podcast. Floyd reflected on the infamous interviews.
Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. he was telling him, like, you can't have 1 feet in and 1 feet out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it. Like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left. And unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
Where Tank criticized Mayweather Promotions, accusing the company of failing to prioritize his interests. I've given my whole life to this sport. Floyd told Rogan to see someone I've invested in talk about me like that. It cuts deep. Floyd also touched on a key incident that many believe marked the beginning of the end.
Calvin Ford, what does he mean to you when you hear that name? What does he mean when you first hear that?
A father. 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 And then he's one of the guys that held a lot of this, like, this whole family together. Him with Kenny, but for sure, like, them two, they held the whole camp together, for sure.
Wouldn't be here without him? Would you say that? Without Calvin?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be here without him. Just off of the fact of when I was coming to the gym, I was getting that love that I ain't have at home, type stuff. So it was always like, Calvin, saying I walked through the gym, Calvin, like, looking for him, type stuff.
He told me he used to come to the gym and you'd be outside, sleep in front of the gym, in front of the door.
Yeah, I used to run from I go to school, and then from school, I go straight to the gym, don't tell my grandma.
Tank's decision to leave Mayweather Promotions in early 2022, while the split was framed as a professional decision, it quickly became clear that the separation was anything but amicable. Tank's departure signaled not just a business move, but a symbolic break from Floyd's shadow.